Hi everybody! This is our first instructional video for week 1 assignments. So every week I will post an instruction video, really giving you some more detail about all of the assignments within that week's module. So I will show you exactly where you'll find it. So in week 1, you're going to see week 1 objectives. If you click this open, you're going to see the week 1 navigation video. So every week you'll be able to find that. So let's go back to modules. And for this week in particular, I am going to also include this video in our course introduction module, only because week 1 is a little different than the rest of your weeks. So if you remember from the navigation video that is on your home page, you have 2 assignments within the course introduction module in addition to week 1 assignments, which are due week 1. So the first assignment that is due on Wednesday is the student information survey. This will probably be the only assignment that's due on a Wednesday. And it's a very easy assignment. You will get 5 points just for completing it. It's really my way of getting to know more about you, learning more about how you best learn and receive support, and just really finding out more information about your interest and your time in college. So let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit more and you'll see the course introduction quiz. Your quiz is due on Friday, but I do suggest you doing it as soon as possible because you will need to complete it with a perfect score, which means a 10 out of 10, in order to move on to week 1 module. So it's not meant to trick you. It really is a pretty simple quiz. Really easy way to get 10 points. It's just my way of making sure that you're reading through these tabs in the course introduction module. So let's go ahead and scroll down to our actual week 1 assignments. So this week we're going to get to know each other and we're going to get to know the field of child development a little bit more. So let's go into our week 1 objectives. So again, you'll see our welcome, you'll see the first navigation video of the semester, and then you'll also see some information about the week's topics, some connections to your course objectives, and then my favorite part is the due dates and objectives tables. So what you'll see is all of your assignments, the points for each assignment, and the due date. So it's a nice clean way of kind of keeping track. If you don't just go off of your to-do list or the course calendar in Canvas, which is right over here, it's another way of kind of checking things off when you're done with them. And so you'll see the 2 assignments, your syllabus quiz and your student information survey, how many points they're worth, and when they are due. You'll also see that you have your Flipgrid introductions and your first quiz. Now, even though these are your assignments for points, there are some additional pages within the module that will be helpful for you as you go through the week's assignments. So my suggestion is always to go through the module from modules. Instead of simply going from your to-do list or going from your calendar, actually go through the module, and I'll show you why right now. So you'll see this first assignment, of course, which is your introduction assignment. For this assignment, you're going to be using something called Flipgrid, and I am finally including an instructional video for Flipgrid, just solely for Flipgrid, because I've had so many students panic when they see a new technology or a technology they're just not familiar with. So I will have that uploaded for you to watch and really get to familiarize yourself with using Flipgrid in itself. But for the assignment, what I'm going to have you do is first read this article. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is in your initial post, so in your first video that you're recording, you're going to introduce yourself. So tell me who you are, what your name is, what's your experience with online classes? Do you have experience in college courses? Is this your first class? Are you in high school still? I do have a lot of students who are doing dual enrollment in this class. So please let me know a little bit more about you. Then I'd like you to tell me something about yourself that you want to share with the class. This could be something interesting, something fun, anything you think you want to share with everyone else. And then lastly, what I'd like you to share is your biggest concern that you have about taking an online course. By now, we're all pretty familiar with online learning, but I don't think that all of our concerns have completely gone away just solely because we're familiar with them. So please share a concern that you might have, and then you can post your video. Now that's your initial post, and initial posts are always due on Fridays. So that's your very first post to the prompt. Then by Sunday night, what I'd like you to do is respond to at least 2 classmates about their concerns. So introduce yourself to them when you're responding to them, and maybe their concern is that they procrastinate. That's usually a big one in this class. And so maybe you can give them a suggestion like, hey, I used to procrastinate too, and what helped me was a calendar. What helped me was setting aside a certain amount of time each week. So you're going to give them any advice that you have about being successful in this class. So your response should only be about 30 seconds to a minute, and your initial post will be 45 seconds to 2 minutes. So that is this assignment, and I'll scroll down and you'll see this in your instruction video, but this is how you post your initial response. You're going to add a response, and then you're going to comment. So far it's just my response there, but you'll soon see multiple people who've recorded their videos, and you'll have multiple students to choose from. I do not count in your 2 students, so you will be responding to students. I'd love for you to respond to me as well, but my preference is that you are communicating with each other. So let's go ahead and go to the next page, and this is the reason why I would love for you to go through the modules from the modules tab and not go through your assignment simply from the calendar or your to-do list, because there are some pages with really helpful resources. For example, the topic for this week's module is located in a PowerPoint. So you're going to see the PowerPoint that I use to teach online or on campus. You'll have access to this in order to study for your quiz, your first quiz. You'll also see a couple of videos to help you understand some of the theories that are being discussed in your first chapter. So you're going to read a chapter per week of this class. And so a lot of the supplemental materials are based from the chapter that you are reading that week. So this is the supplemental material for this week. Next week, you'll start a new technology, but I want to kind of start you off slow this week. So these are your resources. And then lastly, you'll be taking your reading quiz. For reading quizzes, how I structure these is they're not timed. So they open as soon as the modules open, you have access to the reading quiz. Now, you can open and close it as many times as you need to. So maybe you're taking and answering questions as you're reading the chapter. I know many students find that helpful. Now, the only thing I suggest is to not hit submit until you are completely finished. You can save and exit, and it'll save your progress on the quiz, but don't click submit until you are completely finished. Also, it's important that you do complete your reading quiz by the due date. So it is due on a Sunday night at 11:59. Now, I do accept these reading quizzes up to a week late, but I do take off 10% per day that it's late. So if you turn it in 2 days late, you get 20% off. So that's kind of how you can consider about how to structure your time. But again, you only have one attempt at the quiz, but you can open and close it as you need to throughout the week. Just do not hit submit until you are completely finished. And then you have your end of the week little celebration note, and you are finished with your first week. So I hope you have a wonderful first week of classes. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Take care.